Well, hey everybody, it's the 6th day of April 2026. I'm Jan Erickson and this is As Above, So Below. Well, yesterday's reading didn't work out, so I'm doing it today while they're doing the flyby right now. I'm watching the Artemis, or as they're now calling it, the Integrity, on YouTube. Because I'm a space person, I love anything to do with space. So, anyway, it's been exciting. And Mama Goose, the Canadian geese pair that have been coming here and nesting on the dock by one of our big ponds, they've been doing that now for, I don't know, maybe 15 years. She had 9 goslings yesterday, and so we got to meet them today. They came to the back door or the backyard area. I go out on the deck and I give them some chicken scratch and some Laina. And they brought the babies to that area, and I went out and I gave them a little food. And tomorrow they'll probably leave and go to where they always go to raise them. So anyway, we have a new day here with Degas. And that would be really interesting, to have, I don't celebrate Easter, but to have the goslings born on Easter was about as cool as I used to have some lilies in the pond. And the day that our first grandchild was born, our granddaughter, we had a white lily open, and then we got the call. She's in labor. She's at the hospital. So we went down and waited, and it was on a Thursday, but it was so cool, to have that lily open like that, to celebrate our granddaughter's birth. She was born at 11:10 that night, so it was pretty neat. But anyway, that's what was going on yesterday, and today I'm just kind of coming in here. We're going to do a quick reading. But let's talk about Degas. Degas is the 23rd rune of the Elder Futhark. It literally means new day. And so you have the end of one phase and the beginning of another. You can do a Degas ritual where you can either mentally draw it on the floor if you're inside, or if you're outside, you can draw it with a stick if you're got some dirt there that you're standing in. I have a place I can go to. I like to do where it's kind of like separates one section of the yard from another, where the garden spaces are and everything. Well, some of them are. And I like to stand in the middle, right in the center here, the center point, and like on an equinox, and feel the end of where you have the balance of day and night, which are roughly equal. I like to have that experience. Or if you're trying to close out one thing, say you're letting go of some stuff that you don't need anymore, perceptions that are just sort of holding you back, keeping you in, like a bubble of your own perceptions, and you understand that there's actually more to the story. You could use it to sort of bring your attention to that center point and then expand it outward for the new day, or the new type of perceptions you're going to be thinking about, or new truth that is happening, or if you're starting a new job or something, or you're entering a different phase of life. It's a good thing to do on a birthday. Again, where you're just visualizing that energy moving from one phase to another. And so maybe this week we're going to be experiencing some of that. So again, awakening, all doors open, all options available to you. So we start out the week anyway very positively with the Elder Futhark rune. But let's take a look and see what the Geomancy rune is going to say. There's water, there's earth, and we have Tristitia. Now, Laetitia and Tristitia are two sides of the same coin, one end of each spectrum. Laetitia would be joy. Tristitia, though, is getting caught up in sadness and grief. It's very ego-centered, very holding grudges, quick temper, things like that. Whereas Laetitia is more joy and happiness and fulfillment. Portends good fortune, things like that. But this is Tristitia. So maybe what we can say then about Degas and Tristitia is maybe we're letting go of things that have kept us stuck in grief and in sorrow and in worry and on the negative side of things, and opening our minds and hearts to something new that's more joyful. We could say that maybe about this, but let's just take a quick look at the cards. And again, I'm just going to keep this reading really short because I want to see what's going on. They're in the flyby. They haven't gotten to the point where they're out of touch yet with the ground control, but because that'll be for, what is it, roughly an hour or a little bit less, where they're going to actually be out of touch when they're truly on the other side of the moon that we never get to see. So let me do the numerology really quickly here. So I said 23 for Degas. We've got the King of Cups. This is a run on cups. We've got the King and the 3, and then we've got the 10 of Swords. So yeah, I think that that's going to actually be what this is going to, what I thought. Maybe letting go of that and becoming more joyful, maybe more collaborative versus kind of staying in your own bubble and not getting out of it. So there's 10 and then there's 3. Just looking briefly at this. We're looking at 36 or 9. See, ending 9 is endings and completion, spirituality, generosity. Let me do it one more time. 23 plus 10 is 33, plus 3, 36. Yep. So we've got 9. 6 and 3 is 9. So again, if you're talking endings and completion about your about how you see the world or how you're dealing with things, here you have the King of Cups. We'll start out with him. Now, a king, of course, is an older man in authority. He's holding a scepter in one hand with kind of a chalice top on it, and here you have the chalice in his right. He's literally floating. His throne is floating on the water. And, he can be very wise and loving. He can be very spiritual. He can be generous, which would align a little bit there with the 9 numerology. But he can also be very passive-aggressive. He can be someone who has problems with commitment. He can be impulsive. But mostly I view the King of Cups as, kind of passive-aggressive, where you're kind of here and you're not grounded in the center. And so maybe being in that bubble with Tristitia, maybe there's some of that, the manipulation part of Tristitia, where maybe you in the past have resorted to that because you just didn't have any other resources, emotional resources available to you. It's just what you've learned. You've kind of been stuck there for a while. And now with Degas, it's showing that there's a movement to end that and to begin something new. And so let's go to the 10 of Swords, which I think identifies or defines maybe that passive aggressiveness or maybe some emotional manipulation, feeling like you're just all alone in things. And here you're looking at this guy who's on the ground. His head is turned toward the light. You see 10 swords piercing his back. Swords is the air element, so it's communication, it's intellect, it's truth versus deception. You could be deceiving yourself in the way you're seeing things, and that could be and now we're coming with Degas to an end of that. And here you see with the face turned toward the light, here the night is lifting, the deception, the illusion is lifting, and you're able to, and you can also see here that the emotional turmoil is over, and because you see a glassy blue surface instead of choppy surfaces. There's still emotions going on when they're choppy, and when they're really going there's a lot of it, right? But here you have it's all smooth, and so the emotional aspect of it's gone. You've let go of thoughts and perceptions that don't serve you anymore, that aren't working anymore, that aren't realistic or aren't true for you anymore. So maybe there was something that happened along the way to trigger this, to where you can say, oh, it's safe to come out from hiding. It's safe to come out from the way I deal with people and do a different way. It says, I did it before because I didn't feel safe, and now I do because of what's going to happen here with the Three of Cups, right? This defines that. But here, you know, I mean, this looks bad, but his face is turned toward the light. And so with the 10, you're looking at 1 and 0 is 1, and that's new beginnings. If you were to, and I've said this before, let's see if I can just find it so I don't have to redraw it. But if you take and you draw, well, okay, I don't know where it is. If you draw Degas, oh, here it is. Here it is. All right. So I don't have to find another scratch pad here. Here you have Degas. Now, if you take away these, you have the Roman numeral 10, which is what you have here. Okay? But if you terminate the ends, you have Degas, which aligns with Degas, right? And so you've got that idea of the end of one phase here and the beginning here where the night is lifting and the sun is not visible, but the yellow sky is. A new day is dawning. And so again, it's not just about new beginnings with the 10, it's also about endings. So endings and beginnings here with the 10. So I think that again, maybe you've realized it's okay to collaborate. It's okay to engage with other people because something's happened that maybe shifted your perception about that whole thing. And then in the end here, you have this lovely integration. You see the harvest all around and the women are dancing with their cups held high. 3 is about integration. It's about collaboration. It's about harmony. It's about communication. And so this interaction, this integration with one another, it's a celebration. It's joy in this case, a joyful celebration between 3 people. Now, again, what just seems to come to me in all of this is something's happened to instigate letting go of maybe feeling like the only way you can interact with people is through maybe something that's a little passive aggressive or a little manipulative or whatever. And you've decided now that, you know what, the other side of the coin with the king is someone, again, who is wise and loving and generous and spiritual, that you can take that side of him and embrace that about yourself and let go of the stuff that's not working anymore for you and begin anew, letting go of the grief and the sorrow and the sadness that probably took you there and made you feel a little fearful maybe about engaging with other people in a positive way. But then something happened to show you, you know what, you can, and that with the 3 of Cups, you'll be quite successful doing so. So it's okay. It's okay to let go of the fear and the doubt and replace it with love and unity. So if there's a message there, that would be it for today's reading. Anyhow, back to the television and watching the Integrity, because they changed the name it's a little while ago to Integrity, watching the Integrity craft as it's going to go around the back side of the moon and start its journey back home. So this is the coolest thing ever. And maybe we are on the precipice of something new because of all of it, right? So anyhow, thanks for watching. Everything's up on the blog. I haven't posted it over yet on Substack. I got to go do that when I go out there. I post part of it, not all of it, and there's a link back to the blog to where you can see that. I'm probably going to go ahead and put a couple of pictures, or at least one, of the geese there on that page where I have the week ahead post. It's the very first page of the blog, so it's just where you go. When you go there, you'll see it. I'll put them up there so you can see them and what they look like. But other than that, have a good week, and come back again on Sunday, unless I do it on Monday. I don't know. For another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.